Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations. If you have not watched part one, I highly recommend going to do it because we have a lovely pre-roster roast there on Zara's channel.
Yeah, it was a well-earned roast.
Yeah.
We'll just say
So
that.
I feel like, you can go and enjoy it and get warmed up and then come back and watch the legitimate one.
Yeah, it was a good warm-up. That's true.
Right. Um, so yeah, that's that. And we can just skip all of that and jump into viewer questions.
Okay, that'll be great.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm also just realizing that I did not forewarn you about anything on this half. So this is gonna be fun.
I'm just not. I'm not unused to it at this point.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so we have four viewer questions this week.
Okay.
Um, Man, I'm gonna say this completely wrong. Amasia Eliaspor, maybe?
You shouldn't have even tried to
I
say it.
shouldn't have even tried. I'm sorry. Um, what would it take, do you think, for Rey to be considered the best galactic legend to farm first?
That's a fun one. I'll let you answer
Right?
that first. I definitely have some good ideas. Well, I thought they look really good. No, they're ideas. I'll just say
Man.
that. But we'll see.
Um, okay, well, I think that it's hard because she has a lifter unit, but I don't think her lifter unit completely like it changes the team, but it doesn't make the team totally different in a way. Like it's slightly better. I don't know. It's not as crazy as like Cat is, basically. So I feel like she needs something a little bit more Cat-esque. Although, I mean, you could put Cat with her theoretically.
I'd recommend putting all Omicrons on Ben before you make that determination. But
I mean, I'm just going based off of my own experience facing Ray and Ray with Ben, and it hasn't changed how I approach it, basically. Then again, I'm swimming in a much different circle than you are, so
no, I mean if you're in like the territory wars are they're similar at least.
yeah, that's true. Um, and then I also feel like she needs because now I think CG is pushing with their GLs, like making them so what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't want to say like overly used, but like you want them in all these different game modes. You want them for GAC, you want them for territory war, you want them for territory battles,
To
you
make
want
up their
them.
own event for them. Yeah.
Yeah, like so she would need that as well.
Okay, I could see that. Um, I think the biggest thing for me would be if they could give a boost to her to the fleet to the Redis
Mm,
fleet.
yeah, that's a good one.
Because for me, like for a while at least, it's kind of just disintegrated to a point now. But it was like most GLs had a specific fleet that they were associated with, and so you could kind of just say, okay, well the GL isn't like that great, but you still get a lot of the ships and the pilots for the fleet, and so like Supreme Leader Kylo, I've been pretty down on him for a while, anyways, but for a long time, especially when Executor was running in its prime, it was like, well, probably worthwhile to give a boost to your first order fleet.
Hmm.
Right, like because the first order fleet would beat Executor, and it was an actual off meta, and now Finalizer isn't as good, and it's so I'm more and more down on
Right.
Supreme Leader Kylo. The Radis has never really been that great. I love Zori. I love that they added Zori. That's pretty good. I do like the lifter unit. I think he's right about where he should be, though. I mean, I kind of agree. I would like him to be a little better, but he does a lot of crazy stuff sometimes. If he was much better, he'd be probably too good. I think to me, she's one of the most versatile, fun Galactic Legends Actually, I
Yeah.
really, truly enjoy using her once you learn how to use her, and she's one of those like, if you work really hard and keep practicing with her, you're going to continue to get better. There's some GLs that at some point skill runs out, and you as the only thing you can add are hopefully some stats from Datacrons or something.
Right.
But for her, there's a huge skill piece to it, and I'm not even saying I'm that great at it, but I do love that possibility. I think if they made Radis significantly better in some way, I'd probably, I mean, probably just as simple as adding a ship or two.
Well, and like it is true. Like she was one of the first GLs to be released in the game, and she is still one of the most viable and like annoying to deal with. Like if whether you don't know how to play her or you don't know how to play against her.
Yeah, well, and she's the only galactic legend that encompasses an entire side of the Force. This sounds awkward, but like uh, the other ones are very specifically Jedi or Sith or Empire or
Right.
Hut Cartel slash Scoundrel Smuggler, whatever. She's the only one. Yes, she has resistance things, but a lot of her best teams are just hodgepodges of resilient light side characters.
Yeah.
She's good with L3 and Cal and sometimes Seer and all kinds of just weird stuff. She doesn't
Hmm.
have to have resistance. Yes, she kind of benefits from other resistance, but that's not usually her best team, especially depending on which datacrons they have. You always have to think, okay, it's a light side set, and yes, there's no resistance here, but
Yeah.
how many characters could we throw in here and then apply or use the datacron from this set to make that team go crazy? So
Hmm.
she's very versatile. I love if it was just a list of galactic legends I think would benefit people from having magically,
Hmm.
she'd be very high on that list.
Hmm.
Maybe not quite as high as the most recent, but I take her before Lord Vader, I think, just in terms of versatility and enjoyable
Hmm.
use and stuff, flexibility. I
Yeah.
Lord Vader might be more powerful overall and more useful on a lot of levels, but oh, and she's so amazing in territory battles. She's
Hmm.
great she's great everywhere, man. There's just you have to farm a lot of garbage to get her.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is the downside, sadly.
Yeah. So if we could get the fleet to be awesome, I think. Or I liked your idea of
Mhm.
having some kind of event
Yeah, I
for
feel
her,
like
a
that.
Smuggler's Run 2 esque.
Hmm. I mean, I feel like it just makes I don't know. I don't think they'll go back and do that for all of the GLs. I think that's going to be a new thing going forward, but
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. You say that, and you're right. That might just be an only new GL thing, but they have consistently. Why did they release Zori except
yeah.
to push people? Because Ray is the least farmed GL
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
and there's a very strong reason why. Zori helps, Ben helps, but they've clearly been targeting Ray, trying to give her a little boost. So
Hmm.
I don't think it would be that unlikely for her to get some other kind of thing, whether it's a fleet reinforcement or a, like you said, event or something like that.
Something. Yeah.
Maybe a fourth Omicron on Ben. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Um,
Kill
okay.
me now.
Next next question. Uh Jack 6201. Do you think that Clone Wars content will be the next major push for next year? And also, what type of meta change would you like to see in the game?
I don't know. I know that I keep getting emails from work. I need to silence this stupid thing.
Oh,
So why don't you
come on.
talk for a minute? What do you think?
Um, I feel like every time I think that I know what CG is going to do in terms of like the next content push, like the next series they're gonna pull from, or not series, but yeah, I guess series, sub series.
Yeah.
Um,
The next content thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
then. They just are like, nah, here are Inquisitors, or here is Afra, or whatever. Um, I feel like Clone Wars could make sense because you could maybe lead it into more Bad Batch stuff as well.
Sure.
You could kind of tie that in, but maybe. I don't know. I actually genuinely don't know where they're gonna go next.
I kind of think Clone Wars is. I won't say it's so completely tapped out. I think it's there's a lot of areas that they could go to explore
Mm-hmm.
that before they go back to Clone Wars, because they did Clone Wars. I mean, it's been a couple years at this point for sure, but I don't think what we have already gotten. We got Lord Vader, we have General Kenobi, we have or
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Master Kenobi. We have a lot of characters from that era, and then we just recently got Trench. I mean, he was
True.
kind of a little foray into it. So, I mean, maybe there could be some expansion on the droids that they give us, and they could give some boosts to some of the worst characters in the game right now are Galactic Republic Jedi.
Yeah.
So
They're
we
just
could get
there.
a boost for Kit and Mr. Fisto himself
Ugh.
and
Elf
Eth, Elf Jedi. Yeah,
Elf Jedi.
yeah, we could. I've said for a long time I want the Bad Batch shuttle, and we
Mm-hmm.
could use. I do think that maybe like Bad Batch could be a place that they explore into, because we don't have Crosshair yet, though
Right.
he's in the game in a couple different places at this point. So we could get Crosshair, we could get the Bad Batch shuttle, we could get older Omega, it's like slightly older Omega.
Yeah. Could get oh man, I'm blanking on his name. The Wookiee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm
The
totally blanking.
the Wookiee with the wooden lightsaber. It's practical.
Somebody will help me in comments because it's not coming to me. But
I've been waiting for you to, because I remember it.
it's gone.
Gungi.
Duh.
Aha! I remembered something
I'm
in my
like,
life.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, it's not Tarful, it's not Tarful. And all I can think is Tarful, Tarful, Tarful. I'm like, that's not him.
Yeah, I think Bad Batch would be way more likely.
Hmm.
Whether or not it is going to happen is another question, but I wouldn't give my hopes up for just regular Clone Wars,
Yeah,
frankly.
fair. What type of meta change though would you want to see in the game?
I don't care.
Okay.
Really,
I feel
Leia.
like
I don't know if there's a meta
I know
anymore
I
other than just
well,
Galactic Legends.
right, and I feel like the datacrons are kind of what is supposed to do that in a way.
Right. Yeah,
And
I agree.
sometimes they do more so than others.
Yeah, I think that that's that is the truth. The meta shift now is not in new characters or new factions necessarily, though. I mean, we're all gonna have to figure out how to deal with Galactic Legend Leia once she
Right.
comes out, and like figure out how to use her as well. It'll shift some things, but yeah, Datacrons I think are what their intended thing is for it, and it seems to me like Datacrons are doing well enough to them for
Hmm.
them that they don't need to they don't need to shift anything beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly.
Do you
Okay.
think they're gonna release any characters like a legendary character? Last year, Afra was released right around
Mhm.
Christmas. Do you think that they're gonna have
Um,
something like that?
I think so because I think they've at this point it's become a pattern. Like they've done it 3 times. So, because Bam started it. They did Bam. The year after was Starkiller. Then the year after that was Afra. So
Yeah, but we have no hints toward what that might be.
I know, but we also haven't gotten the marquees for them yet because so last year
Right?
Leia came out. The marquee dropped the first week of September. Like Bush Leia for Java. So we didn't get any of the Afra marquees until after that.
Until after that.
Until after that, yeah.
Nice.
Um, I don't know where they'll go with it.
Yeah, I thought that they were unveiling the next legendary character with Gideon.
Mm,
With the Beskar Gideon thing, but he's the next conquest, so
yeah, he's conquest, so
that
that's
was wrong.
yeah, yeah.
But to be clear, I'm fine with that. It is such a weird world these days where conquest characters they're all legendary level ish,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're getting 4 legendaries that are scheduled every year, and then they release a couple more as well. I mean, I personally I like that a lot. I like all the moving parts and the shifting pieces and things that you have to adapt to, but it is weird sometimes when you think about how often they're being released.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also like a lot.
Totally. I can understand. You sound stressed about it. I'm like, yay, it's fun. It's this puddle. It's the difference between a person who likes to splash in puddles and a person who avoids them because getting wet is stressful.
Yeah, it's not even it's almost like the uh oh man, like the constant need to have all of the gear ready right away and all of the Zetas and all of the Omicrons that you might need and mod them correctly and make sure you have the team built correctly for them and then
Mm-hmm.
like there's no breathing room because then on top of that like if you're doing 4 a year from Conquest, call it 3 because maybe one is a ship.
Sure.
Um, then you have one around Christmas, one typically in June, plus a GL, plus a capital ship.
There's no denying that there's a lot for sure.
Lot.
I'm not trying to fight that at all. My thing is I just enjoy the planning of it.
Totally.
That's all.
Totally.
To me that's probably I love JC and everything about JC. I think that roster planning is close to as enjoyable as GAC. Honestly, I
That's
think
fair.
a lot of my roster planning videos do like there's some of my most viewed videos, and I think probably some of my enjoyment of that reflects through to the videos because yeah, I just like it, man.
That's
That's why I
fair.
have three. That's why I have 3 accounts. I don't need to play GAC on 3 accounts, really. I mean, it's fun, but that's not a need. I just want to plan for all. Like I am like I want to start. I can't. I can't. I'd have to do something. But I want to start a 4th one
Oh my God.
because I want to. I want a new player account to see what I to see.
To see what you do.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, you can't. No, you just can't do it. You go crazy.
I would die. I couldn't do it. I would just one day I would be dead, and people are like, "What happened?" They're like, "He started a 4th account." Like my autopsy would literally
Uh,
say, "Started a 4th account."
Someone offered me another account the other day, and I was like, I can't. And they're like, it's fine. Like, and I'm like, no, like I can't play 3 accounts. Like I literally can't. And they're like, no, it would be like your second, just drop yours. I'm like, I'm not dropping mine. I'm too attached to it sentimentally that I can't drop mine. It's just I can't play 3. No. I don't know
Oh,
how you do it.
three is probably borderline too much. I get so much joy out of it, and honestly, making videos for the lower level account is it's also very eye opening. I'm able to. I think my videos are a little more understanding of the new player circumstance, so I think that helps a little bit. I don't know.
Fair. Fair.
I don't know.
Okay. 2 more questions. Um,
We've only been going for 20 minutes.
it's fine. It's fine.
We're
Everything is
good.
okay. Uh, Magic Beard 3392. Act this question I think is really relevant and I think it's what a lot of people are curious about.
So answer in one
And
sentence or less, right?
sure. Uh, it's kind of a two-parter, but it has to do with the raid. So with an 8 to 9 month cadence, how long into the Endor raid would you be willing to consider a full cost 20 Omicron investment on Scout Trooper to be worthwhile still?
That is a good question because it has diminishing returns. You obviously don't
Yeah,
want to post it on the final month or something. You don't want to apply it.
right, right.
Well, and you're going to use it less now because they're reducing the number of times the raid is occurring.
That's true. However, if it does make it significantly easier that you don't need to necessarily like restart a bunch or
Yeah,
all of that.
if it reduces your headache
Hmm.
by a significant amount, then it's probably worth it.
Hmm.
I would say you want to get it applied pretty early on, probably somewhere in the middle. It's just a ballpark get. Like I really don't know. I haven't done any numbers on it. I would say that if you only have 4 months left, don't do it. It's like
Yeah,
start really pumping the brakes and thinking about it. If you can do it in the first or second or third month, probably very worthwhile. And it also just depends on how impactful it is. If it's like, okay, you have to on average do one reset every time if you don't use it, but if you do apply it, then you never have to do a reset with it. Then great.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's one other factor actually.
Hmm.
So I was reading through what their old thing was about it, and it's a three. You're using only 3 characters per attack, not
Yeah.
5.
Yes.
And so if it's still only 5 total attacks allowed, then that's
Hmm.
one thing. If they increase the number of attacks that you could do because there
Right.
as an increased number of characters you could use, then it's going to be less impactful too.
Right, because you could t have other characters to carry you to the same score.
Yeah, if your Omicron could impact 1/5 of your total attacks, that's way better than 1/8, for instance.
Right. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way. My gut, like my instant reaction in terms of like when would I want to apply it by was month 3. I think after that I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really hoping CG's gonna do something kind for us and
Hmm.
reimburse the old Omicron.
Hmm. I think um I honestly think, and I don't know if they would do this. I think Raid Omicron should be half price all the time. Like if
That
you're fully going to rotate the raid, want your player base chasing the new raid because that's where the best rewards are going to be. I think you should be willing to consider the fact that you are um making an investment have a very tangible expiry date in the sense of like I know that like not every Zeta is worth it now and not every Omicron has the same value now in general in other game modes as well. But it feels I don't know, it just
you
feels
can still use them though.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It just feels scuzzy. I don't like it.
That sounds like a Canadian word, but I agree.
Yeah, you should.
Despite the Canadianness of it, I do. No, I think you're right, and even like people say that it's like Datacrons. Datacrons, at least you get materials back from it.
Yeah.
Datacrons, they scrap it, and yeah, maybe it's not worth how much you invested in, but you get some left that you can reinvest into your other Datacrons later. It still feels bad, I get. That's one of the frustrating things that people have
Hmm.
felt about Datacrons, but I do think that these Omicrons, they're just like I will never use this Boosh one again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not mad that I have it. I think it's been worthwhile. I put it on right away. Not right away. I put it on as soon as the crate rate dropped. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, for me, I spent the 10 for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was I think that started right around when the raid went live.
Yeah, I have no regrets about that at all. I would I would just like it to I would like to have a similar deal.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, Second half of this question.
Oh, I was like, hey, we answered a question in 5 minutes, but okay,
No,
continue.
second half. Um, and I don't think we necessarily need to pick all of the characters because it's going to be long. Basically, it's and this might change because we don't know what the abilities are going to be in the raid since everything is changing. But basically, if you had to pick 15 units from the raid list that you would automatically take to Relic 7 in order to prepare for the raid, which ones would we pick? And why not any of the Ewoks? Um,
I think that's pretty short-sighted. Ewoks might end up having the best team. They
I'm
might not, but
curious. I'm curious if they will be like Tuscan level or Jawa level,
right, they might also be hot garbage,
right?
honestly.
Yeah. I feel like
Go
just
ahead.
in
Let's hear
terms
what your thoughts are.
like only because there's just so many requirements for this raid that overlap elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The safest options that I think aren't going to burn you are characters that you already are going to want to have at higher relics. Like obviously you're going to want Galactic Legend Leia. Jedi Knight Luke feels like a solid, very obvious pick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Han and Chewie feel like really obvious picks. Like those are ones that aren't going to burn you long term.
Sure, Jedi Luke is weird because well, we don't know what's going to happen because all of their abilities are just being folded into
Yeah.
weird raid mechanics. So, but like Jedi Luke, if it was just using traditional teams, Jedi Luke is kind of a weird odd man out kind of situation. There's not any other
It
Jedi on the list.
it is. It's super weird. So, yeah. Um, I also am like leaning towards the Imperial troopers on the list being a good investment.
Yeah, well, Imperial Troopers have been a great investment for a long time in this game. Even
Yeah.
yeah, for even before Galactic Legends were out, they've been amazing.
Yeah.
I
So,
would I'd say the one that I'm the most intrigued by right now, in
mhm.
fact, is the Imperial remnants on that
Right.
because we're getting Beskar Gideon at some point
Yeah.
soon-ish. He'll be part of that raid, and they already said that Dark Trooper wasn't going to be part of his squad.
Hmm.
And so the other four, so that's the Scout Trooper plus the other like Stormtrooper
Hmm.
and Gideon, like the current Moff Gideon, and whatever other ones. I'm just totally spacing on them, but a Death Trooper
Hmm.
probably. That
Hmm.
all of those are, in my opinion, they'll be a good squad anyways, so they're probably safe to be working on.
Yeah.
The CLS squad, CLS isn't allowed on the in there. He's not a raid character, but the
Right.
rest of his team is.
Right. Yeah. So I feel
But
like that's those like you're not going to get burned by doing that.
yeah, just do the three Ewoks that are already required
Hmm.
for GL Leia, and then Ewoks may end up being amazing, but I am not taking that on faith. I'm going to wait
Yeah.
until we have the mechanics in place, and then we'll recommend a list that is way more accurate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, okay, last question, and then we'll go into the game. Steve Wealthy, assuming a lot of people are farming Galactic Legend Leia, they will also be farming Captain Rex. If he ends up with Phoenix, what are the three characters that would go with him? Hera obviously is the given. Um, so oh yeah, and also make Zareth answer first.
That's part of the thing.
That is legitimately part of the question.
Okay, I was gonna make you. Okay, all right. Oh, so currently
Uh-huh.
there's a very specific team that is currently beating every version of Lord Vader
Mhm.
with the Datacron. You have to have the Datacron, and I know Steve Wealthy hates Datacrons, but
With
I
the
just
Phoenix Datacron.
Yeah, with the Phoenix Rex Datacron,
Mm-hmm.
it kills every version of Lord Vader, and it kills Jabba, and it just destroys things as it ramps their damage,
Hmm.
and so it's gonna retain its strength even as well. It'll retain a lot of its strength even as once the Datacron goes away, and so the team is Hera and Rex, of course, yes, and then you want Sabine. She's the main damage dealer, and she has Stagger, which is really useful against
Ooh,
a
yeah,
lot
it
of
is.
comps. And then you want Chopper
Mhm.
because he resets their cooldowns with basic, and because they're always assisting each other, you want that. And then Kanan is good for dispelling things, and he gives them all counterattack as well.
Mhm.
Not to mention he's a good tank. So that's the those are the that's the 5-man Phoenix team that I would currently recommend everyone work on if you're going to be working on one. Whether that is changed by something else, but it's hard to predict. But
Right.
right now, that 5-man group is beating a whole lot of really high level teams, at
Mhm.
least in GAC with Datacrons.
And it's not, I mean, when you think about it, even if you were to pick apart the team, you have Hera there as a requirement for profundity, so she's going to be at relics.
Yep.
Um, Kanan, like you said, is a good tank. He's also a Jedi, so if you really wanted to plug him into your Star Killer team and use your other Jedi tanks elsewhere, you could. Um, and then Sabine, like,
Sabine's a Mandalorian. She
yeah.
can be used for a lot of in a lot of different places.
Totally. Um, the odd one out really is Chopper, but if you have a sortie team, you could probably plug him in there.
No, he's a solid droid actually. A lot of the
Mhm.
sortie teams that have given me trouble in the past
Have him.
have, yeah, he's. I mean, it shouldn't be surprising, but he is definitely surprisingly annoying. A lot
Yeah.
of times, he plays.
Chop.
They made his kit pretty well because he's pretty irritating.
Oh man.
He's lore
Um,
accurate.
he's lore accurate. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely I feel like it's definitely a team that is going to be changing. I don't know. It's hard to tell because also like and they do this for obvious reasons, but you get the Datacron immediately after these characters like come into the game and these things happen, and then
Right.
you have this like really overpowered, not overpowered, but you have like a really strong showing for a team.
It is overpowered. They're not going to kill Lord Vader once this Kron is gone. The
Right.
ramping is you absolutely need all the ramping, and it still takes minutes to kill the Lord Vader squads. But
But you're still using a Phoenix squad.
yeah, to the point of I'll probably have to layer my defenses so that people will kill my sacrificial Lord Vader team with
Hmm.
Phoenix, and then I'll have Jabba behind, and I'll be like, haha, surprise! You can't use Phoenix on both, which is a really silly. It's a very silly feeling. You're like, what? What even is that going on?
Oh man. It's just so sad. Um, okay, that's it. Those are all the questions.
Okay, we're only 33 minutes in, so we're good.
Fantastic. So there are no new packs this week. Shocker, I know.
You have such a bad attitude about CG not trying to sell us stuff.
Well, like just get creative, man.
You, they would have to create a new pack every single week to
I
keep you
don't see
happy,
why that's a
Sarah.
problem.
Me either.
Just saying.
I'm I'm
Um,
I'm angry too, Sarah.
I realized, by the way, as soon as we started recording this half, that I did not run by the character review tune by you. Um, so
I've
I don't know
realized
if
that
you
for like an
wanted
hour now.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that or if you want to roast a roster. What would you prefer?
Let's do the character review. What do you have in mind?
I thought in honor of Ahsoka, we could do Fulcrum.
Oh, yeah, I don't know her very well, but yeah, let's do it.
See? There we go. It's a good thing I ran it by you.
Yeah, so now she looks 50% more like Rosario Dawson.
Right. she did get a touch up or a reskinned.
Yeah, I would call it a reskin because they didn't
Yeah.
change any of her kit.
Yeah. So I obviously don't have her Omicron.
I think this is the post I got the most downvotes for on Reddit, and that's saying something. I don't
Uh-oh.
know. Well, I just so when she first released, she was a marquee, and
Hmm.
everyone was they were very very rabid about she's the new meta. She's going because there was a couple of
Hmm.
videos that came out that she was one-shotting characters, and if you do everything the right, like you can. There's a few teams, especially when she was released, that still could get a lot of generate a lot of buffs, because
Hmm.
that's her big thing is she blenders people with her whirlwind attack, right?
Right.
So she you give them all I'll give her all the buffs and then she takes them away and kills someone. And so the big thing that I got downvoted for was that everyone was saying she's the new meta. As soon as she's something we can farm, we're
Hmm.
going to just be deleting all the teams. She's the new meta. And I was saying I don't really think she's going to be. I feel like I'm the only person who is seeing her for what she is. She's not this overpowered, amazing character, and I got downvoted so hard for it.
And then
And then I was right, and they downvoted me just because.
just out of spite.
Yeah, that people didn't want to listen to my reasons, and I mean she's good now. She has
Right.
some cool things she can do, I guess. What do you
Right.
think about her? What's your whole thing with her?
I have literally, I think, only used her once or twice. Um, just as a like, let's see what she does kind of thing. I geared her because I figured I might want her with the Seer squad
Yep.
once
That
Malikos dropped. So I was like, I'll just gear her now.
seems like she's a good candidate for that squad for sure.
Yeah. So I figured I would do that. I know that her whole idea is like taking in buffs, dispelling buffs, and using that for her whirlwind to do the damage, and it scales based off of how many buffs she's dispelled. Um, but other than that, she's a unaligned force user.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She's no
Um,
Jedi.
she's no Jedi. Um, I don't even know what her basic does. Okay, it's standard protection up. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So she's. I think the biggest thing. Well, let's see. Can we look at her unique real quick?
Yeah.
And then click on 8 if you would, because that's the Omicron. I don't want to look at that right now.
All right.
Um, yeah, okay. So she's immune to damage over time effects,
Right. I
and,
forgot
and
about
then
that.
and then she dispels all the debuffs that she gets for damage to herself.
Hmm.
But then, yeah, she recovers health based on her buffs and everything. She's interesting because you can't really control her that well unless you do something like fracture or like Hondo can put her in prison or whatever.
Right.
And then of course if you do an undispellable debuff to her, I think the most hilarious effect is honestly when you use Treya and you put isolate on
Isolate.
her, because
Hmm.
she suffocates so hard when she doesn't get buffs that.
Yeah, and she's isolated, so she's not gonna get anything.
Right. So there's that issue. She can really hurt pretty good. I like that she has 30% crit avoid as well. I wonder if that's
Mhm.
part of her mastery. I actually have no idea, but
Hmm.
the crit avoid mastery. Yeah. So she's good, and then I think that one of the biggest parts too, though, is her whirlwind. So she does her two specials in combo. Can you click on those,
Yeah.
please?
On which one do you want to see first?
So meditate first, because that's the one where she takes all the buffs from people. Yeah, so she gains
Yeah.
foresight and retribution, and then she takes all the buffs from people that aren't unique
Hmm.
to them, and
Oh,
and then she gains all the turn meter. So she usually takes 2 turns in a row, basically.
I didn't realize she gained turn meter based off of that as well.
Yeah, so a lot of times she'll do that, and then instantly, if you've set it up right and that you have enough buffs floating around in your squad,
Hmm.
for a long time, I know that one of the more interesting squads she had was with Ewoks because they have so many unique buffs.
Right. So she's just taking a whole bunch of them.
And then, can we look at the second one? The second
Hmm.
one is she ignores armor, I think. Oh yeah, that's the Zeta that you don't have enough mats for.
Right.
Right.
Do you want to see the Zeta?
Yeah, so it consumes all the things, she does all the damage, and this is the one that made her look so overpowered because she just
Yeah.
one-shot things. But yeah, if you click on the number on 8, it's the target can't evade and has minus. Oh, it's just minus 50% armor against it.
That's still a decent. I
Really
mean,
good. Yep.
it's an older kit, so
And I feel like nowadays it would just be ignores armor.
yeah. Yeah. That's true.
But this is also she can. I think she can crit on this, right? Yeah, it's physical damage. She can crit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, she seems not bad.
Well, Seer and Cal on the same team as her generate a lot of buffs, a lot
Right.
of different types of buffs, and that's why she's so good with them right now.
Right. So
Not
you
to
pl
mention they get cool UFU boosts for her.
right, exactly. So you're plugging her in there and then hopefully she's deleting somebody.
Yeah, I was able. I won two of my matches last week in the top 50 group, and I know that I guess that is a little bit braggy, but she was a part of the squad that won me the whole thing on my last fight because she was with Seer and Cal, and
Hmm.
if you don't take care, if you don't take out a Fulcrum Ahsoka
Hmm.
immediately, she just deletes someone pretty quick.
Mm, which is
With that,
not ideal.
it's ideal for me. I think I got 5 holds, so
That would be ideal for you. Yes.
yes,
Uh,
indeed.
all right. Should we roast a roster?
Sure, let's go for it.
All right. Um,
Makes me nervous, but yeah,
oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Hit the wrong button, everything's fine.
it's okay.
Okay, so this is it is a Patreon who's cutting the line. It's not the Patreon we talked about earlier,
All right,
just so
they
you
weren't
know.
high enough level.
Just so you know. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay, so
Tommy.
they're a Beastmaster.
Hmm.
I don't
And
think
they
that's. I think that's they spelled Diagna wrong.
Diagonal
Dianaga,
Diagon.
Dianagas. Maybe that's how you spell it. I don't know. Cool. I guess they have 5-star Leviathan, and
Hmm.
they have Jabba team
They
in
have
rank
Java.
53. Okay. They
And
have
they
a weird Datacron on a Jabba team.
sure,
It is weird.
sure. They're
Kyber 4,
7.7 million.
7.7 in Kyber 4. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Ships
I guess.
as per usual.
Yeah, man.
All right. How many capital ships are there now? 11?
Yeah. So they're missing Radis.
How did you even see that so quickly?
Because the answer is always Radis.
Um, fair. Ah, man. All right. So no Radis. Finalizer's not done either, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, I'm surprised that they have a 6-star finalizer with
Mhm.
that bad of a Hux.
Maybe the rest of his first order are just carrying it.
Sure.
Maybe. Okay.
I don't. I haven't put much.
Oh,
A
no.
level 81 Lando Falcon. Okay,
I'm
so
just gonna
that's
wait for you to see it.
what the level 1 Star Fortress with 2 stars. Oh no, the beat.
No,
Oh,
there it is. Ah, Yikes. And you've got a Relic 8 Kenobi.
Uh,
Holy.
why do I put myself through this? This is This is physically painful for me. People are like, they even this person even has all three of the meta fleets,
Yeah.
and they just decided, nope. I guess I won't take the best tank for one of the best fleets out there. Okay, well, they've
Oh,
been with
man.
this is a bit. Negotiator isn't what it used to be, but you've had an account for it's a 7.7 million account. You've had it for years, and
Ugh.
in those years, it's only been 1 or 2 years that Negotiator's been a little diminished, and it's still really strong.
Right.
Still the third best fleet out there, and up until when Leviathan was released, and you just thought you'd just shoot yourself in the foot. This game's too easy. I'm just gonna not have one of the best tanks for one of the best fleets. Okay.
Oh, man. There's a lot of ships that have been ignored.
Vulture Droid.
Yeah.
Ray's Falcon. So Ray's Falcon and Lando's Falcon is why they can't even have Radis unlocked, by the way.
Right. Because they're not done.
Oh, hey, a 7-star Rebel Y-Wing, because that's required for things.
Yikes.
Why did you farm Hyena Bomber if you're not going to farm Vulture?
Man, I'm still like locked on the 2-star Battlebee. It's making me sad.
I hate that I sometimes
I
call it Battlebee now.
because I call it Battlebee.
I don't like it, but I still call it that sometimes.
Ah, that made me happy. Thank you. Okay, we can continue. Um, yeah, because like this is all the requirements for the rest of the fleets.
Hey, look, a Relic 3 Malgus. What? That
Uh,
that's horrible.
oh man.
That's actually the exact opposite between if you look at their bomb B-28 and their Fury. The
Hmm.
relics are actually opposite. My
Yeah,
B-28, my Marauder's Relic 3. So,
man.
yeah. But Malgus he deserves way more, man. I'm guessing this person doesn't
I'm.
use datacrons or anything.
We can look at the datacrons. I can't get over this, but okay. Um,
Physically painful. All
man.
right.
Okay, let's look at
Can we
datacrons
just
real
be
quick.
done with that? That's
This is actually like a decent amount of datacrons. They're not
yeah,
level
there
crazy
is.
high, but there's a decent amount.
Just don't want all the stats for Malgus. I got it. I mean, I
Oh
don't got
man.
it. 'Cause I think that's a really bad decision. But okay.
Okay. Okay, characters. So 4 GLs.
All right.
Uh,
More GLs than my Professor X account, and yet not in
mhm.
Kyber 2.
I mean, I have more GLs than your Professor X account, and I'm not in Gamer 2.
That's true. Today's the
uh,
day we roast your roster
uh, I'm
with
sad.
other people's. Oh yeah, so the speed thing.
Okay. Um,
Fifth brother is the second fastest. Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay. Why is Hera so fast?
I don't know. They don't even have a Zeta on Hera.
Hera's faster than Han. That seems weird.
Or Thrawn. Or Rex.
Mm-hmm.
Or Scando.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Okay.
Jedi Revan.
Okay, well there's where's the purple starting, so
I mean, Rex is gear 12 here.
yeah.
I
But at least with gear
I'm
12 you could still do 6 dot.
all right. I think you picked. Did you pick first last time? I don't remember.
You think I remember?
I picked first last time. You have to pick first this time.
Oh man.
So for the people who are new to this game,
Uh,
we're trying to pick where the 300 speed line ends. Which character is 300 speed, and then the next one. after that is not. So we sort them by speed, and the answer is what?
I'm gonna say it's Boba Fett.
You think Boba has 300 and Hera does not?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say Hera. In fact, I don't want to cherry pick, but that was what I was gonna say. I
Okay.
promise. So
I'll believe you.
yeah,
Whether anyone else believes you, though, I can't tell.
I think you cheat sometimes.
Oh,
Oh
291.
jeez.
Oh,
Ah, that's horrible,
oh
man.
man. Should we even see let's see what Hera is for fun.
Yeah, I
Oh
lost, but
man.
jeez.
285.
That's a spectacular fail. Wow. Okay.
I was about to tell you that I don't cheat. Let's see, Padme. 293.
Tell me, we gotta talk about your mods, man.
Man, where's Maul at? Maul's 301, so it might be Maul.
I didn't. Maul's one of the fastest characters in the game. If Piet is,
Yeah.
oh,
Piet's slower. Piet's 299.
if someone wants to fake me out, then make their Piet slower than 300. I'll bite every time. I can't envision why. You gotta have your Piet faster than 300, man.
Man.
All right. Well,
Okay. That's sorted by speed.
I guess
Um,
this continues my sadness.
what faction do you want to look at real quick before we end the sadness? Or I could just flip the roster upside down and make us cry.
Should we just get to the tearful part first? Let's do it.
You want me to flip it upside down?
Yeah,
Oh man,
I
okay.
don't, but okay. Let's
Hmm.
see. So you don't have Star Killer because you don't have Darth Talon.
Hmm.
Don't have Bad Batch at all. You know, working on Afra. I mean, some
Hmm.
of that's okay. Vander Chewie at 2 stars. L3
Wow,
at
look at
5 stars.
Nest.
Nest is total hot garbage. She is actually pretty
Wow.
hot, so there's that. But sorry.
Uh,
Uh,
wow.
at least you have a level 47 elf Jedi. That helps a lot. It's
Hmm.
just, hey, look, it's like you're a Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum, except with less gear levels. All right.
Uh,
Echo is gear
wow.
8, 2 stars. Why
Yeah,
gear 8, 2 stars?
man. Armor's 4 stars.
You're right. I am crying.
Wow. Why does Tarful have a Zeta?
Probably, well, with that gear, I don't know, but I was gonna say the Zeta is pretty helpful. I think I applied it on at least one of my accounts recently for Conquest.
Okay, maybe it's for Conquest. Still.
Yeah.
Man,
No Inquisitors.
what are we working on, Tommy?
Nothing much.
Seer has her Zeta.
4 stars. I don't know. I think that Tommy doesn't like to farm things. Aiden, it doesn't even have 7 stars. Kieti Mundi. Okay, so you're in a guild that doesn't get cam shards. That's fine, I guess. Um,
Man.
IG-11 is garbage. This is really sad. Queel's garbage. Your Kanan's gear 10 though. Woo, that's gonna help a lot. You have, hold on. So they're working on Jabba,
Sorry.
or they already have Jabba, but they don't have Embo at all worked up. I mean, kind of.
Oh. I mean, 6 star.
Yay. Hey, look at that Tuscan Chieftain 5 star. Woo, it's gonna help.
Mara's got her Omicron at 4 star.
Why? I mean, you don't have Star Killer.
Ah, man.
Why is Savage gear 12 without a Zeta or Omicron? Why is Savage geared at all? You should or farm like. Ugh.
Oh, man.
But hey, look at those Jawas. They're gear 12. Woo! They're more worthy than like Starkiller requirements, of course.
I just feel sad.
Yeah, I think the word I'm looking for myself is desolate.
That's so.
Hey, there's one of his fastest characters ever on his roster, Rex, just a little bit farther down.
Oh man. Well,
So not a good General Skywalker squad.
no.
Not a good bounty hunter squad because his Mando's so dog
Yeah,
crap.
no. No. Oh, look at that.
Sorry,
I
I just
mean,
said
bounty
needed to
hunters
puke.
probably exact requirements.
No.
Oh man.
All right, I gotta be done. I know we haven't looked at all the garbage, but we've got to. I
Okay.
want to. Can we just pull the plug?
We can be done.
Can we please? I'm glad we did this after because I like your roster better now.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I like your roster, Sarah. It's great.
so rude. All right.
Goodbye. See you next week, folks.